You've got your realtor, you've found your perfect home. Now what? Hi, I'm Stacy Olson with the Valentini team at William Ravis Real Estate. And on my channel, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about living on the Connecticut coast. Many first-time homebuyers don't realize all that goes into making an offer. So I'm here to walk you through step by step to take away some of that anxiety so there's no surprises. So as I said earlier, you've decided to put an offer on a home that you love. What now? Your agent will discuss with you what the other homes in the area have sold for. And it usually is a home that's very similar to yours. Same square footage, same amount of bedrooms, same amount of bathrooms, maybe the same acreage, definitely the same town and area within that town. And they're going to pull out a list of all the homes that have sold in the last 60 or 90 or 120 days to give you an idea of what the going rate for is for a home like the one you want to put an offer on. This is what we call comps in the business. So basically they are comparables. So you're comparing your home to a similar home in the same town and neighborhood. Once you see what these homes have sold for, then you discuss with your realtor where you want to put the offer. Do you want to go in strong? Like, hey, this is our best offer. We can't go any higher than this. We don't want to negotiate. This is what we're offering. Or do you want to come in a little lower than asking and negotiate with the seller? During this process, you'll be expected to review all of the documents that were supplied when the property was listed. So mainly they're going to be the property condition disclosures. And basically this is the seller going through a huge checklist of all of the major components of the home and revealing if they had had any prior issues with them. It talks about, your basement. It talks about your attic. It talks about your roof. It talks about your boiler. I mean, it really goes through a bunch of different questions and it's pretty thorough. They may also have an inclusion-exclusion disclosure, which is the seller saying that there's certain items in the home that are currently there that they're either going to leave behind or take with them. Usually it's things like draperies or maybe a light fixture that they love they want to take with them. But sometimes they're willing to leave things behind. Like maybe there's a cabinet that they're not going to take with them or some type of lawn equipment or something. They should disclose this in the inclusion-exclusion sheet. And they will also by law have to sign a lead disclosure, which is for any home that was built before 1978, as well as a mold disclosure. The mold disclosure is only if the property has had a known mold issue. So if the property that you're looking at doesn't come with a mold disclosure, then that's fine. That just means they've never had a mold issue since they've been living there. And you should review all of these with your realtor. And if there's anything on there that is like a red flag to you, then you should make that known. And that may come up later if you decide to have an inspection done. Next, in order to actually put in your offer, you need to have a pre-approval with a lender ready to go. Not a pre-qualification, a pre-approval. And a pre-approval basically shows the owners that you have been vetted by a lender and that you are in fact pre-approved for a mortgage up to a certain amount. Now this does not guarantee that you're going to get that mortgage because the lender will do more digging and look really into your financial background, your working history, all that stuff. But all in all, this is them saying that based on what they've been given so far, you are pre-approved for a certain amount to finance a home. So what you'll need to do is tell your lender the amount that you're actually offering on the home, and your lender will draw up a new pre-approval with that exact amount. So for example, let's say you were pre-approved for $500,000, but you're only putting an offer on a house at $450,000. You want your lender to update your pre-approval to say $450,000 because you don't want the seller to know that you can afford $500,000 because they might expect you to pay that for the property. So you always want to have your lender adjust your pre-approval letter to the exact amount of your offer. And on the flip side, let's say you are only approved for $450, but you want to offer $500, and you really need to go back to your lender because then they need to relook at all of your finances again to see if you actually can afford that. So either way, you need to have your pre-approval letter ready to go because your realtor will send that with the official offer. Another thing you need to do is to retain the services of an attorney. In Connecticut, you have 5 business days from an accepted offer for an attorney to review your contract. Basically, they're there to protect you. They want to review the contract, make sure there's nothing in there that was written weird or anything in there that really could be a detriment to you as a buyer. And realistically, you should start calling attorneys a little earlier than putting in the offer because you want to reach out to people, find out how much their services cost. Do you like them? Do you have a rapport with them? I mean, sometimes you just want to have a better feeling for who you're going to be working with through this very stressful situation. Honestly, the fees for attorneys really can range, so you need to ask them, what are your fees? And they should be able to provide you with an itemized list of exactly what they'll be charging you for. Don't worry, these fees aren't paid up front. They are paid at the closing. But keep in mind that you're going to need extra cash at the closing to cover these types of fees. The attorney has several functions. Not only are they going to be reviewing your contract, updating it if there's any riders or addendums, they're also going to be doing your title search. And this is very important because you want to make sure you have a clean and sound title. You don't want to buy a property just to find out later that the owner that said they were the owner was not the owner. And quite honestly, this just happened recently in Connecticut, not that long ago. Someone bought a home only to find out that the person that sold it to them wasn't the owner, so that they didn't actually own the home they thought they bought. It's crazy. But attorneys really should do a title search. And they also look into make sure there's no liens on the property. So you have your pre-approval, you have your attorney, and we have our price. Now what? So now be prepared to put some money down. Typically, we have a 1% deposit due on the home with the initial offer. Now remember, this check isn't cashed and given to the seller. This is sent to either the buyer or seller's attorney, and it's held in escrow until you actually close on the property. And this money is known as good faith money because it lets the sellers know that you are serious about your offer. And the 1% amount may differ depending on the type of loan you have, because I know that like VA loans, FHA loans, they have different requirements. But for me, I'm just assuming you have a conventional loan, and we always ask for 1% down to move forward with the initial offer. Another thing you have to think about are inspections. So right on the contract for the offer, it'll ask you if you want inspections or if you want to waive inspections. Some people waive inspections. I don't usually recommend that. I always say you should do the inspections because you just never know what they're going to find when they go look at the home, because you yourself are not someone that's going to know if there's something seriously wrong with the house. So once you decide you want an inspection, there's all these options. And I usually just check all the options on the contract because you really want them to check everything in the house. In Connecticut, you only have 10 business days from the date the offer is accepted to have the inspection done. So as soon as you know that your offer is accepted, you or your realtor really should get on the phone and book that inspection because the sooner the better. And honestly, I remember looking at homes that we were going to buy, and then you're so like excited and it's a showing and you're not really paying attention to everything. But then when you get to go back with the inspection, which is great, you really can look around and familiarize yourself with the home. After you have inspections, you will go back to the owner with any requests that may need to be addressed in the home. This really can mean a bunch of things. Maybe you request the owner to fix something, but always be willing to go back and renegotiate after inspections. Once there are new terms after the inspections, your attorney will get involved because again, they will need to write up an addendum based on whatever you renegotiated with the seller. Then you're expected to put more money down. Again, I'm talking about conventional loans, but typically we will ask somewhere between 4 and 9% will be put down, and the attorney will hold in escrow. The remaining down payment that you make will be brought to the close. So let's say you're going to put 20% down, and you put down 1% initially and then 9% the second after the inspections for the second deposit. She'll bring 10% for the rest of the down payment on the home the day of the close when you're signing all the papers. So after you've given this second deposit, you are well on your way toward closing. In the meantime, the attorney will continue to research the title. The lender will be asking you questions and probably for more documents, verifying your current financial situation and your job situation. This process will continue back and forth until about a week before the actual closing. And then when everything's in order, your lender will let you know that you are clear to close, which means that you are ready to close. They don't need any more documentation, and they're just waiting for that closing date so you can sign all those papers and get the keys to your new home. During this whole process, your realtor will be in constant contact with both your lender and your attorney to make sure everything is going to plan and there's not going to be any hiccups. And they're also going to be in contact with the seller's agent because they want to make sure that they're doing the things they said they were going to do. If you negotiated them to fix something, then you want to make sure that stuff is fixed and you're getting proof like receipts and things like that. But your realtor is there to protect you, keep things organized, keep things moving along, and make sure that everything is going to plan, because we are there to support our buyers and protect their interests. So as everybody knows, the market is shifting a lot lately. People think, oh my gosh, it's going to crash, or this inflation, it means these rates are going to skyrocket. Nobody really knows what's going to happen with the market. So check out this video where I try to break it all down for you. And in the meantime, if you like my videos, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'll see you next week.